Let me know when you're ready. Yeah. I can start now. So, good afternoon. We're going to issue a short statement on the cases of indiscipline in secondary schools. And I'd like to begin by informing you that since last week, 10 boarding secondary schools have experienced cases of unrest. Of these, 7 are arson cases that have targeted dormitories when students were undertaking their evening studies. As you may recall, when we were last here together, I had instructed head teachers and chairs of BOMs, boards of management, to undertake stakeholder meetings, identify areas that needed attention from the ministry, and we believe that this preemptive action has aided in significantly reducing the number of incidents that we have witnessed this year, compared to the numbers that we had in 2016 and 2017. A preliminary report of the Ministry of Education indicates that some of the reasons contributing to the unrest include the following. The first one is a student reaction to last year's cancellation of some of the KCSE examination results. This was particularly the case in Chalbi High School and Ortum High School. And I think both of them have been in the media recently. Now, in the case of Chalbi, students attacked non-local teachers on claims that they were behind the cancellation of last year's results. In the 2 schools, the students wanted an undertaking, and I think that should be of concern to all of us, an undertaking from the principals that they will facilitate cheating in the 2018 exams, KCSE. The second reason that we found to be behind the unrest that we're witnessing in the schools was the tough examination rules that are meant to stamp out cheating. As you know, over the past 2 years, the ministry has mounted formidable measures that are meant to guarantee the integrity of national examinations. These measures have completely closed, sealed, any avenues that were previously used to compromise exam results. Efforts of cartels to attempt to guarantee leakage of exam papers have failed completely. In some cases, students have been put under a lot of pressure to be adequately prepared for the exams. The third reason is general cases of indiscipline. The ministry has stepped up surveillance in our schools. It has taken up measures to ensure that normal teaching and learning are resumed as quickly as possible in the affected schools. And in particular, we have intensified field visits by officials, including myself, and I intend tomorrow to visit some of the schools that were affected in Nyanza, and colleagues from the ministry will be visiting schools that are affected across the country. We'll visit those that have borne the greatest brunt of unrest with a view to holding discussions and a dialogue with stakeholders on the best way of ensuring normal learning. All boarding schools have been asked to double the number of teachers on duty over the next 2 weeks, with greater emphasis on surveillance of boarding facilities when students are attending their evening studies. All quality assurance officers in all counties have been directed to file daily reports, and they've been doing that in the last 2 weeks, on the security situations in their regions, with clear explanations on any existing gaps that there may be. I also want to put it on record that we agree and support the move by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to criminalize all acts of student unrest arising from the recent incidents. We would like to inform the public as follows. One, that 3 students of Siakago boys in Embu have been jailed for 1 year on probation and have since cleared from the school. They can only attend day schools as they report to their local chief. 125 students from various affected schools have been arrested as police intensify the crackdown on all masterminds of the recent cases of student unrest. Meanwhile, teams of quality assurance officers have been dispatched to these schools. Boards of management of all schools in the country have been directed to take firm steps to ensure learning continues unaffected. The Ministry of Education wishes to assure all parents, guardians, and stakeholders that all measures are being taken to ensure that the safety of our children at school is guaranteed. We are also stepping up activities in preparation for the exams, both the KCPE and KCSE. They will take place, as you know, in October and November. We have launched a nationwide pre-examination monitoring exercise to ensure that we are adequately prepared for the exercise this year. Already, the ministry has mapped out some areas that we need additional support given to ensure smooth running of exams. We will not be distracted from sealing off all loopholes to ensure that exams remain credible. We will conduct an unfettered and impromptu surveillance of all examination centers to monitor the examinations using combined teams of multi-agency actors, and those were put in place since 2 years ago, and we'll continue using them for surveillance and to conduct any exercises around the examination centers. So this year alone, ladies and gentlemen, the Council has installed an additional 40 containers, new containers, to reduce the distance covered by center managers to pick and drop examination papers. We wish to warn the public on exam cheating cartels and of their existence. The ministry has taken seriously claims that there are some unscrupulous people who are asking parents to contribute money to buy examination questions this year. I wish to appeal to parents and students not to be misled or duped into these fleecing schemes. It's impossible for anyone, and I'll repeat that, it's impossible for anyone to breach the security systems already in place to access examination material in whatever form. I'll also say additionally that students who are found guilty, as you have heard, some have already been sentenced to 1 year. I don't think any student should have a criminal record, but also no student should commit a criminal act. So those that commit criminal acts will be prosecuted. And I want everybody to understand that these kids will actually have a criminal record going forward, which basically means that they would have interfered with any advances, any development that they want to make in the future. Additionally, we will make sure that their living certificates include language that indicates that they were found guilty of criminal offenses. We will not allow them into our universities going forward. We will also not be able to recommend them for scholarships. In terms of jobs, as you know, there's a requirement for a certificate of good conduct. That, of course, will not be forthcoming if you have a criminal record. And so it's actually up to all of us as parents, as stakeholders in the education sector to make sure that this information is conveyed to all schools, to all students, and they understand clearly that this act will destroy any future plans, dreams, expectations that they have. Yeah? So I'll stop there, and if you have any questions, I'll take them. Yes. I can't hear you clearly. Yes, okay. Mm-hmm.
But one question is, this is not the first time we're experiencing this. It has always been associated with probably exam students are not, candidates are not ready for the exams. But just two quick questions. One, have you ever put into place, because probably there's a missing link between the teachers and the students, because maybe the teachers have never probably wanted to listen to the students' concern. Then number two, what assurance are you going to give? Can exams if the ministry didn't repair the schools, or the parents will have to bear the burden?
You know, I'll answer your second question first and say that these schools are actually constructed using taxpayers' money. These are public resources that are used to construct the dormitories that they're banning. So there's absolutely no way that we are going to provide resources from this ministry, from government, right, to rebuild the dormitories. We will not do that. I think it will have to be up to the schools and the parents of these students to decide how that should be done. But government is not going to spend a cent in repairing any property that has been destroyed by students. Criminal Act, the law will take its course as far as the act itself is concerned. As far as the destruction of property, I think that the parents will have to decide how to address. And yes, the issue of communication is something that we've been working very, very hard on, between everybody actually. I think we have a serious problem of communicating with each other in this country. It's not just in our schools. In fact, I think we set a terrible example for our young ones and for our children from just the way that we behave as adults. And so, yes, there is a need to improve the communication, means and avenues between the students and the teachers, because obviously there are some signs that were missed, yeah, and that should have been noted and acted on. And so that's something that we will, moving forward, be taking up. But let me also say this, that whenever we visit these schools, we actually have a fantastic time with the students, because we are able to listen to them, we are able to talk to them, and we are able to address some of the concerns that they raise. In any case, if you have a concern, I think the worst way of addressing that concern is by banning your property that you have been entrusted to use for a number of years, and that does not actually belong to you. It belongs to all Kenyan children, those that have been there, those that are there today, and those that will be there tomorrow. Yeah? So it's incumbent upon anybody who's in these schools to protect that property and to make sure that it's properly maintained.
Okay.